Welcome to Be Born to be Wild, a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign set in Matthew Mercer's Wild Mount campaign setting. My name is DarkInsanities. I play a tiefling called Pelaios. I exist on the internet here, on Twitter at DarkInsanities, and probably other places as well. I think most of them are Discord. Hi, Frici.
Oh, hi. Frici. I play an elven druid called Belanor. And while I practically exist everywhere, right now I only focus on Twitch. Oh, it's Frici here.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, I'm Dave, and I use Twitter too much, and I play Vakhuil, who is batshit insane.
to say nothing of associated pets. Hi, Vixie.
Hello, I am playing Lisana, Human Ranger. I am on Twitter at VixieRose.
Hi, Rocky.
Hi, I'm everything else and the general dungeon master of this campaign. You can find me on Twitch at GM Rocky and on Twitter at the GM Rocky with a capital T GMR.
Last week's episode is live up on YouTube. Frici is sending messages, it's confusing. Last week's episode is up on YouTube. This week's episode will be up on Friday on YouTube. The entire playlist for the entire campaign so far is at the link currently in the chat, unless you're watching this in YouTube, in which case you're probably already in the playlist, possibly, or something, but probably don't need telling about it. Anyway, we are using, for all the links you see in the character command, in character commands in chat, we are using DnD Beyond for all our character sheets and all of that sort of stuff, as well as the overlay down the left side of the screen. If you're watching on Twitch, everything you see on the stream is in Roll20, all the maps, all the rolling, all of the stuff that isn't my face at the beginning of the stream.
DnD insane months of sub dark and 1HEART.
Thank you, I appreciate that. When we actually get into the game, there'll be no alerts making noise on screen, or visible or anything like that. And we will largely ignore chat in the voice, though we will still respond in chat when we have stuff to say. Lastly, we have 3 rules. Rule number 1, the DM is always right. Rule number 2, players can try to change the DM's mind. The DM is still always right. Number 3, viewers are not players. They don't get to argue. Hi, Rocky.
Hello, hiya, hey. It's gonna be a weird little thing. Sad to say. We had well, let's just say we've got quite a curious little situation about meeting a particular fellow who dropped a name or
Didn't.
something of the sort, yeah.
You didn't hear anything.
But there has been some pullback and wanting to ask Pelaios, what heck? What do?
Pelaios knows not of what you speak.
There are questions to be asked and characters to ask them. So, Danae, let me hold you back on it.
What could possibly go wrong? So, having solved that little puzzle that I solved at the end of last episode, Pelaios will recognize or notice that as a result of a 3rd level spell he may have cast near the end of last episode, that his hair is now all sort of staticky. What am I trying to say? It was like when you stick your hand on a Van de Graaff generator and your hair starts standing on end and all sort of messed up. So he will just take a comb out to brush out of his pocket and start brushing his hair back down properly to where it should be.
So as at the end of last one, Lisana goes in front of Pelaios, standing in his way so he can't exit the room, and asks, "So who was that?"
Oh yeah, we were sort of on our. Well, I was sort of on my way out. I was over here somewhere, I think, wasn't I? Sort of walking towards the exit.
Yeah, somehow that got reset back a little bit, which
and
was
Lisana had come to
curious.
stand in front of me, and the other two hadn't specifically moved on yet. But anyway, random positioning faux pas aside.
Random backwards resets are weird.
Who was that? Was the question? Yeah.
That would be correct.
That was someone I used to work with.
Okay, that's not an explanation. Who was that? They clearly just tried to kill us. We need answers.
Didn't very effectively try to kill us. His name is Marak. Used to work with him. We left on unfriendly terms. He might bear a bit of a grudge.
You say you used to work with him, but he talked about a recent delivery you did to him?
Yeah, that's a bit strange. I didn't send anything to him.
Well, it wasn't specifically to him. The wording was that a recently delivery that Pelaios made that Marek just happened to intercept.
Yeah. And that's going to irritate my employer. I'm still brushing my hair, by the way. Making sure it's all back in its proper place. That's going to irritate my employer.
And not talking with a stutter as well.
A little bit, yeah. Just a little bit of completely not. So yeah, that's my employer was very much looking forward to my last delivery. That could be problematic.
How so?
He doesn't take failure, ideally.
Okay, so what does that spell out for us?
Uncertain. At this point, it depends whether my employer is aware or not. And there's no evidence to suggest that he is, or I quite possibly wouldn't be here right now. And then again, also no evidence to suggest that he isn't, so... yeah, that's probably fine.
This encounter spelled anything but fine.
I know we seem to have fixed the sky around here. It's something that's gone fairly well.
We keep running into trouble. It would be nice to have a little warning if you know something.
Oh, I didn't know he was going to be here. That was, unexpected.
Fair, but... is anyone else going to be coming after you?
I doubt it. At least not without reasonable warning.
He escaped, so he's definitely coming back.
Yeah, that could be fun. Well, at least I know he's after me or wanting to needle me. Oh, there's that. Forewarned, forearmed, however the saying goes. we going to go and get those rings that the dwarves
Considering
seemed...
the dwarf seems preoccupied with that table. Something we've been discussing earlier while you tried to run away was the fact that, much like back in... City was it? Turkey? The pet shop city?
That was Masarius.
That's right. Much like the pet shop back then, when we were investigating for exotic creatures, so to speak. You don't stutter anymore.
Yeah, how about that?
Yes, about that?
Yeah. It's useful. People underestimate people who stutter their way and can't get to the end of a sentence.
Yes, but that shows you've been hiding things from us. What else are you hiding from us?
No, I think that covers it. What? I didn't trust you when I met you. I'm still not 100% sure I trust all of you anyway, but more than I did before, I'll grant you that.
We haven't tried to kill you like your previous employer.
Oh no, he wasn't anything to do with previous employer, not directly. He's just disgruntled. No, my previous employer, if they were trying to kill me, I'd be dead. Possibly so would all of you, but hard to say. Depends on what mood he's in. This probably wouldn't have happened if we hadn't decided to go herring all over this side of the mountains.
I mean, that's potentially fair, though without knowing your employer, can't know if we were safe. The other side of the mountains either.
Well, that is fair. It is
And
slightly
bigger
surprising.
things than just the four of us.
Well, there's definitely bigger things than the dwarf.
The low hit.
I know, that's so easy. That's probably fair. So, what are you going to do about it?
So, Pelaios, you care to tell us who nobody is?
I just lost visibility of this entire room instantly as soon as Dave moved his token. But only on one of the two screens. I can see it on the one I'm showing to stream, just not the one I'm using myself. Nobody was a name he used to try and one-up me, if you will. The whole general idea of I'm somebody, you're nobody, blah blah blah, therefore I'm more important than you. Apparently it's
your
not something
real
he's
name...
got over.
Okay. Okay. Now, a question about all of this. Is either your organization or this guy also at fault for everything that happened at the forests?
Not that
Is that possible?
Which forest? Are we talking about the original one where
Both.
Vixie started growing horns, or... Oh, okay.
Both.
Oh, yeah. I very much doubt it. That sort of thing was never up his alley. We're much more city people. He was very much more mechanical. Nature and all of that in a slightly sort of way. Not lots, but just not really our thing. So yeah, sure, it's possible, but I very much doubt it. By all means, Frici.
And Pelaios, you can give me your particular role in secret. So the exact skill used is
it's
not
either
in question.
it's either a persuasion or a deception.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker.
I'm actually gonna do something different.
I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming.
Guys,
From the moment you took that spell, I knew this would happen eventually.
Okay. I need to ask Belanor, Lisana, do you trust anything he's saying right now?
Belanor, you get that you are not getting the entire truth out of him.
I am skeptical.
I can cast a
skeptical of the
spell.
situation.
I can cast a spell, but I want to get you guys your opinions about it, because it means all of us are going to be talking the truth. Are you okay with that or not?
I mean, I have nothing to hide.
How long?
I'm gonna be standing real close to Pelaios.
Hey, buddy.
What's occurring? I've just
Good, very
realised
good.
the skill I used just showed up on stream for everyone as well, so everyone knows whether I rolled deception or persuasion. Lol.
Yes,
I'm
but how many
casting
people
that.
are looking at the stream is the question.
None until I said that.
Alright, well, those, I'm going to rule that in this particular case, those who wish to not make the saving throw can, but those who wish to resist may make the saving throw.
Oh, is this a charisma saving throw? I thought it was
It
wisdom.
is a charisma saving throw.
It
It is a
fucking
force
saving
of will
throw.
thing.
But I know if you saved.
Yes, you do. I mean, I am
Now,
proficient with charisma.
I will say it out loud. So yeah.
Did Belanor just move away from Vakhuil by about 15 foot?
I shouldn't be.
Or did I just not see...
Yes.
Did
I didn't move in, but I should move in. This is 15 feet
I...
now.
Okay, it was
This
them
is
moving.
in
It was
15
them.
feet now,
It was them
because I
moving.
was-
Yeah.
I was somewhere here, yeah.
I saw people moving and I suddenly
moved
noticed
in.
that Belanor definitively outside of the range of a Zone of Truth.
It's being a little bit weird back and forth. I keep
Yeah.
forgetting that I'm on push to talk right now.
You're on push to
Yeah.
talk right now.
So, I guess you could say who chooses to let the Zone of Truth affect them, and those who choose to not may make their saving throw now.
What's your DC, Dave?
Slow.
we work out it was 12 or 13 or something, right?
Should be a little higher now.
It's still pretty low.
Is it above 23?
Sure isn't.
That's
about
not enough
10
to
lower.
save.
Yeah, you know that I saved.
Alright, let's see. I'm just having a look. See here. Blah, 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 blah. So you succeed.
And he knows I succeeded.
Yep, and you know that you succeeded. There is a push, and know that if there is anything said further, that not quite effective.
And the other two haven't rolled, so I'm guessing are willingly failing.
Yep,
No.
Lisana has nothing to hide, so she's not bothering.
The problem with the spell now is that he resisted it.
Okay, that means he clearly has something to hide.
Ipso facto.
Maybe I just don't like having all my secrets shared to everyone.
Maybe it's the
Problem
Russian,
is
not
that
speaking.
you're a liability right now to the party.
If I wanted you dead, you'd be dead by now. If I wanted to be free of you, then I wouldn't be here. I choose to be here. I haven't done anything to harm any of you. I have no intention to do anything to harm any of you. I realise you won't believe me, on the basis that my ability to resist your magic is apparently stronger than your magic. I don't like being enspelled. You can trust me or you cannot trust me. Up to you.
I'll be frank, I don't. I already have a hard time trusting people. And seeing
He doesn't
someone
even
be so
trust me.
resistant. Of course I don't trust you. And seeing someone try that hard to be secretive to us right now with what just happened is not really making it easier.
Looks like we are at an impasse here.
Pelaios narrows his eyes, is thinking. He is considering, specifically looking at Belanor. My name is Pelaios. That much is true. I work for a mage in
I think you
Nicodranas.
just cut out, by the way.
Me?
Yeah.
No, he intentionally paused.
There was the pause.
There was a very brief pause, yeah. I work for
Oh.
a mage in Nicodranas, delivering messages or collecting items when he doesn't trust magical forms of sending or transportation, which is often enough. If you've spent any time in the Empire, you can probably imagine why.
And if there are any rolls that wish to be done about that, since that was cited at you there, Belanor, we can have rolls be done if wished. And of course, the secret side as well.
Roll high, roll high, roll high.
There are, from what you can tell, Belanor, 2, maybe 3 facts in that statement
Maybe
that are not true.
3? I'm trying to
Maybe
count.
3.
I'm trying to count now.
Well, I'm counting differences, just,
Okay. Fair.
levels of success.
That's fair.
From what you can tell, the name's not right. The place isn't right. And what he does exactly isn't right.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Why am I rolling so badly
Did
today?
not sound particularly convincing, I'll be honest.
Well, it wouldn't do, would it? You all know that the spell failed. So, why would it? Thing is, I know that we know that everyone else is telling the truth because everyone else willingly failed it.
Yep.
Yep.
It's really irritating, that.
For 10 whole minutes.
Yep.
And it means I can't even appeal that task anymore. I don't.
Also, goddamn your high insight checks, Belanor. I have a +7 on deception. And I've rolled...
And +7 on insight.
Yeah, and I've rolled like a 6 and a 5 so far.
Not the best, so...
God damn it. I do fine on the saving throw, apparently. But no, not
Oh,
that.
yes. Well, Belanor, you know something's not quite right, and he's lying about those details, particularly, or at least not telling the truth about those details, for one reason or another.
If you want to believe one thing, then you can believe that I have no intention to harm any of you. I may not be able to tell you everything. It's not my information to tell all of the time.
Well,
but I have no intention to harm any of you. I'll roll for that as well if you want.
I don't think you really have to roll for that, but I'm about to say, perhaps with sort of this information gleaned, even though you know 3 things aren't quite right, maybe you can find one and compromise for a little trust.
I probably could.
Yeah, that is a good point. I was about to say, what can you tell us then?
He's gonna mull for a minute, roll his head on his... tilt his head, whatever, thinking. And
Probably just the first one. That's really about it.
probably, yeah. Hold on, where do I edit this on here?
Oh, am I going to have to edit it in the thing too?
Probably, yeah.
Well, let me know when you do.
I can't find a button. Yeah, I'll do it later. Oh, I might just have to refresh the page. Yeah, well. That's probably fair. I was right about one thing. My name isn't Pelaios, it's a convenient alternative. You can call me no one.
That much we figured. No.
Now that was a dip for you, Frici.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so Vakhuil is going to do what only Vakhuil can do, is to break the tension. He's going to hit Pelaios really hard on the back and say, you know what, let's just get these damn rings.
What's your strength score?
I was about to say, Pelaios, can you give me a quick strength saving throw?
Oh, the strength saving throw. So first I get a 20, whatever it was with the charisma. Now it's a -1. Okay, 14 is whatever.
Yes, thankfully that clap is... It lets you stumble a little, but you aren't knocked over.
Oh, good. That probably deserved, yeah. What's that bludgeoning damage for or something?
How much bludgeoning damage is that?
Oh no,
3 actually.
no, yeah. Don't even worry about damage.
It would be 1 plus your
it was
strength
not
modifier.
meant as a strike, but just forceful smack.
Yeah, it would have been 4 bludgeoning damage, but irrelevant.
Well, you've got one detail at least now.
Mm-hmm.
A curious one indeed.
Anyhow, we wanted to go shopping, I believe.
Is this really your fashion sense? Or do you like something else much more? Be honest.
He will just raise an eyebrow at Vakhuil and then move towards the door. Just literally, really? This is your question? This is what you're asking? That sort of...
Listen, the dwarf isn't smart, okay?
Doesn't have a high DC either.
Oh no, he doesn't.
You know, that would have been much more fun, Rocky, if you hadn't let everyone willingly fail.
Rocky, do I have to roll to see if it left a mark on his back?
Nah, it generally with a hardy hand like yours, it's going to be a little purple on his back for about 15 minutes.
Very low down on my back, though, because you couldn't reach high on my back.
Yeah, just right above the tail, where it hurts the most.
Under different circumstances, you'd got slapped in the face by that tail. But Pelaios is intelligent enough to know that would have been a really bad idea, then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I can't call him that anymore, can I? Fuck. Now I have to get used to a different name.
Entirely, yeah.
I mean, why Lisana's not? She's still calling him Pelaios, because that's what she's known him as the longest.
I mean, that's what he's going to identify himself as to everyone else. Just because he was forced to tell you guys doesn't mean he's going to stop lying to everyone else.
Entirely true. So, one small character detail open and left. But, looks like now to pursue something else. Thankfully, there was tell of where jeweler may be.
Are there...
What did I say again? They have to be 50. It has platinum rings. It have to be 50 gold, but they can be 100 gold if you want them to be.
Yes, that's what you said. Question: given that the sky was falling last time, and then we fixed it enough, is there a obvious increased guard presence or anything along the lines of?
There is definitely a bit more cautionary guard presence due to what had occurred, but now that things are somewhat returning to normal, they are alert, but they are not probably looking as worried or active as they were.
They'll let the wizards deal with it.
Question: should we be giving that box to the guards?
What are you expecting the guards to do with it? Now we're outside, by the way. I'm point of record, but I'll do it anyway. If it's just us four, he won't stutter. If it's anyone else, he will, but he's going to talk to you quietly because there's other people around.
Oh, calm down, puppy. Come on. No, can you get on this side so I can actually... Sorry, on mute.
Alright, so there was a few things. Now that the shopping trip has been able to continue, we had Dave who was going for a jeweler. Was there someone else who was looking for something in particular?
I think, and I might be misremembering this, that we'd all already done everything we wanted to do. We were all following Dave to the jeweler so we could all get
yes, that's what
As
I
No, Lisana wanted to upgrade her bow.
Ah, yes. Oh, wait, you went looking for arrows last time, wasn't it?
That is correct.
bows and arrows, fun fact, was 1 half, 2 halves to that. It's like...
Hey?
Well, she went into this thinking, oh, I just need more arrows. I'm going to restock. And then after all of this, she's like, I need something a little bit stronger than what I'm carrying right now.
In case I need to shoot Pelaios in the back of the head, yeah.
Pew.
I mean, she doesn't have to shoot hard to kill you in one shot.
It's funny because it's true.
Accurate.
I'm actually calculating exactly how many arrows it would take if they crit right now. Hold on a tick.
Not more
I
than...
say 2 at best.
With Dreadful Strikes, because that would add some. It's probably only 1 if I crit and go max damage. I only have 22 HP.
Yeah, 1 arrow if it went full.
Yeah.
With the
If
Dreadful
it
Strikes
had
on
Dreadful
it.
Strikes,
Yep.
then yeah.
I squishy. This is the other reason you don't need to be worried about them, because literally any of you can one-shot me if you get the right rolls.
So I guess we're splitting up then?
That's assuming I can hit you.
Touché. I mean, even you must be able to beat a 16 occasionally, or beat a 15, or beat a 16 armor class occasionally.
I mean, I do have a
That
plus
means
6 to
10.
hit.
50-50.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
And 2 swings for that 50-50. So that's still 50-50.
Yep.
Anyway, jeweler. Do
Yes.
people want to have gaudy or just normal?
So I actually gave this some thought out of game, to think what he would actually put on it, and he will have a completely and perfectly plain band of platinum. It will have no ornamentation whatsoever on it.
No fuss, no muss.
Yep.
Simple band.
I gave that a lot of thought. It took me an entire minute.
I don't care what it would be or look like. It's jewelry.
2 plain bands.
I mean, essentially same, but also question. Do I have to wear it on my hand, or can it be on a chain?
Has to be worn on the hand. Doesn't matter what finger, just on the hand.
Is that really true?
Let me double check.
It just says worn, doesn't it? Which hypothetically, I could hypothetically put it on my tail.
She doesn't wear jewelry because it gets in the way when she's shooting. That's why I'm asking.
That's fair.
That's entirely fair.
Well, I guess the only way it would get in the way of shooting, not get in the way of shooting, is if it were like on the pinky. Since that one's like furthest away from doing
It just
anything.
says you must wear it. It doesn't
It doesn't
particularly
time,
say
yeah.
how you wear it.
You could develop a major new Rishonian fashion and start wearing toe rings.
Technically, wearing it on a chain would still count as wearing it, I guess, since it doesn't specify hand.
True.
That's-
While it would, but we'll say for the sake and purpose of origin and function, we'll say must be worn on a finger.
Noted. So yeah, something simple and small.
Probably pinky finger on whichever hand you use for the arrow, since for the arrow drawing you'll only really need those first 2 fingers and thumb.
I will get one with a blue gem set.
Okay, time to look up.
Plain. I'll have a gem in mine.
All right, let's see how much extra that gem will cost.
Just a tiny blue gem.
Yes, I'm having a look to see exactly what blue gems are tiny and possible, since there's a lot.
Meanwhile, I realized that the irony of saying that, Belanor doesn't care about jewelry, so you can get him a plain ring. And then I looked the entire party's inventory, and I noticed Vakhuil, nothing. Lisana, nothing. Pelaios, nothing. Belanor has 2 rings.
You have to stop and think about what name you're using there, right?
Okay,
About to have a third
yes,
ring,
let's
and they
see.
still don't care.
Are we talking just a simple blue, like an azurite, some blue quartz, some eye agate, a little bit of lapis, or a turquoise?
Just something simple.
Something simple?
I mean, unless there's a specific stone that my religion uses.
Not really, no. They prefer just platinum there.
Pretty certain they just prefer solid rock impacting other people's faces. Isn't that how that works?
I mean, no, because it's a dragon.
No, I'm talking more about your religion as opposed to the formalized religion
something
behind that.
close. If you want something close, probably a piece of blue quartz or blue eye agate. Probably the quartz would be best, so it's a transparent pale blue.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, then that's 10 gold on top of for your ring.
So a total of 210 gold.
Bingo gringo.
And he's broke again.
Yeah, not even close. Manage equipment. Add item. Platinum. Hey, look, platinum ring doesn't exist. Okay, custom item.
Alright, well, with the rings given and set for however, there is still one other thing to note and try to look for. And that's in your court, Vixie. Where is Lisana going to start searching for what she is searching for?
First, she's going to ask for directions and see if anyone knows the best shop in the area to get something like this. Don't trust Lisana to find her way if she's not in a forest.
Alright, well, while there is some pretty good magic items and armories in the Gallifrey, there has been talk, at least of recent, that there has been some particularly fine work from the Coronas from a particular smithing shop. And that there has been word that once the artisan has grown up a little more, that they may be invited into the Gallifrey.
She is going to let the party know this is where she's headed and see if she can find her way.
I mean, plan was for Belanor to be tagging along, so Belanor will be tagging along and probably assisting in finding the way there and back.
If in doubt, just follow the drinking and screaming from when the dwarf gets into a fight.
Well,
That sounds like it.
When you are given directions, you are going to be passing past to the gate that you just came through, and going to be going down that street until that crossroad just off to the right, and down a little ways until the next crossroad to a larger workshop area. There is one familiar thing about this particular crossroad as I move the token to said crossroad. You remember seeing something at that crossroad.
Oh yeah.
That?
Only Vixie
And when
saw.
you go around, well, Vixie did see. And moving down to the next crossroad, there is a large workshop area, and it looks to be a larger collection of hobgoblins, orcs, and definitely a few elves here and there, but it seems to be mostly non-elves in this workshop. And eventually you would make your way to that workshop.
Lisana's going to hesitantly walk up and peek her head in.
There is a loud clanging, smashing, bashing, just the sound of industry all over. And as you eventually do peek in and look to be kind of looking around, there is a voice behind you that does clear its throat. You'll have to beg me asking, but you wouldn't be a Felwyn, would you?
I am, yes.
And what is curious is that it is that same figure that you saw kind of staring you down across the street from before.
I'm kind of going to step behind someone. How do you know my name?
It's a bit of a difficult thing to ask, and a bit difficult thing to answer. If you'll just walk with me this way around the workshop, probably to the more open area, I can explain just a bit of a small ways particulars. You might not know of me, at least how I am now, but you might remember a name quite often from far before. I used to know you when you were young, although I don't look like I used to. You should remember an older gentleman who went along the coast. Wizard, magician, went by the name of Renard. That one little name would cause a little bit of a thought, as you remember this older street magician. Probably it's been, 20 years since you'd met him, and he kind of left about 15 years ago for their own reasons. But they were very popular among kids. Just street magic cards, pigeons, coins appearing and disappearing. Well, let's just simply say I had my own journey to come this way. And, well, it's been very different. Let's say I did not meet the best time, to my point, and I'm now here as I am.
Lisana's still kind of hesitant. It's ringing a faint bell, but she's weary of trusting anybody right now.
Well, if it sounds a little bit strange,
why.
It does sound quite strange, but I remember your father Andres and your mother Catherine when you were being sort of brought hand in hand down the streets of Nicodranish, and I know I showed you some interesting tricks with flowers and blooming. But, well, let's just say 15 years ago I went for a ways of my own to give the little bit of joy that I gave along the coast to others to inspire. And around 10 years ago, when I was making my way through this particular area, I won't exactly explain how I get here, it's a particular other story there. But I met my end. And I didn't come back to see and think about what I am now until, well, about 5 years ago. It's curious to say.
So, what were you watching me for?
Well, it will be funny to say, but what exactly happened here is, at least for me, is something that is held within this city as a little bit of a secret and sacred rite.
I'm not entirely sure I understood that correctly. Did you say you died and came back?
I died for a little bit, yes, and part of me, part of me was in here, patting sort of the middle of the chest of the knoll that you see. It wasn't until around 5 years ago that this little one came across a particular rite among the people here, and my memories became hers, and it's sort of been a bit of a blend since. It's very difficult to say, and you would have to speak with some of the priests and other higher sorts. It's not often that one of my kind, or my current kind, has had this occur. It's mostly among the drow that this happens. But it has more recently been happening to other goblin folk, and, well, I'm the first case of a gnoll having it happen to. But probably the first case of a gnoll gaining memories of a human. It's very particular.
Lisana's gonna reach up and tap the horns on her head. I vaguely understand.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of a strange world to say, but it is definitely good to see a somewhat familiar face. I wasn't quite too sure it was actually you. You've grown very tall since then.
She looks around at the rest of the party and is like,
Only Belanor's there.
okay.
Zach and I aren't there.
Well, do note that
Did everyone else stay?
Oh, am I not there?
I mean,
Did you
Sorry,
follow
I
Lisana to find her bow?
I'm assuming yes.
If we followed, then
I
we
was
followed.
not here.
Belanor specifically said he was following. Neither of the other two did.
Of
I
note,
wasn't here.
That's fair.
I was tending to my dog.
Of note, this gnoll is only 5 feet tall. Still looking somewhat young.
Shall we operate on the assumption we followed because everyone else was? And I suspect I wouldn't have been given much of a choice in the matter somehow.
Somewhat.
There was a strong push for me. Yes. Rocky, I'm giving this gnoll a little stare.
Yes.
Like a divine sense kind of stare.
There is nothing aberrant, celestial, fiendish, undead about this gnoll.
Huh.
If you
Go on.
If you wish to understand sort of what may have happened to me, there is one word for it that you may ask those in higher authority about, and that word is conscicution. It is definitely a strange occurrence. But I used to be Renard, but I am no longer, and now I am simply Reyna. Though there are those among my kind who also call me Runt, but that's probably understandable given my height.
At that statement, Belanor would look towards Vakhuil and smirk a little.
One of these days, I will hit you.
But
It's me, little brother.
it does appear that you are actually here at the workshop for a particular reason. Is there something that you are looking for?
Yes, we've had a lot of strange run-ins on our journeys. I'd like to upgrade my bow so that I'm not in quite as much danger or as useless.
Just probably a simple enchantment or probably a new, finer one from the styles here. I can assume funnily enough, I've actually, from a crafting, what's the word that they use here? It's a crafting pack per se. So I can definitely see about getting you a bow done. And there's a momentary pause. Though I will say, supplies are definitely a bit more difficult for me to get back and forth in a timely manner. If I had a particular way to transport them a little faster, then I could definitely probably get you a bow within a couple days from scratch. Otherwise, it'll probably take twice as long to move materials and move along the way.
I call my
Squeak,
lion
squeak.
to me. Like, if I'm within a mile, he should come to me.
Well, it takes well, yeah, it'll take a little while for the lion to get through there, but reminder, that would be a lion that you stabled somewhere and
Oh,
would be
yeah,
attempting.
okay, never mind. Never mind.
So
Let's,
firstly, the sun comes out in the middle of a city where the sun doesn't come out. Secondly, a lion breaks free and starts rampaging through the streets.
I need to put a sign on the lion.
But
Would Vakhuil actually think to do that, though?
probably he would be a bit more sensible. Yes. But it would be a case
would
of
he really?
Yeah, I question the thing.
Well, what was dropped there was it seems to be that Reyna is having a bit of trouble being able to transport supplies back and forth and getting to locations in order to get supplies, materials for their craft. Big hint drop.
What can we do to help?
Well, if I was able to have a particular... Well, if I had myself a horse, that would be a bit better, but getting a horse is a bit difficult, to say the least. At least one...
Lisana holds up a finger. I can help with that. We have a spare.
Well, if you would be able to go and drop by and, get that horse to be able to bring by here and drop by and we transfer ownership, I can definitely give a discount on however much the horse is worth to the bow that would be crafted thereof.
I can definitely do that. I feel like it would be taken care of here and actually have... It's a working horse. It's going to want a job.
I definitely think that's probably the best idea, yes. What sort of horse is it? Draft? Riding?
Riding, I believe.
It's riding.
You all did get riding horses, so yes, that is correct. Okay, so a little faster, not quite as much hefting, but definitely the speed to get to and from places would be definitely helpful. I'll take that into my calculations and just go and bring the horse here. And would you like your current bow worked on, or would you like one in the style of my pack?
One in the style here, I believe.
All right, I'll do that, but I'll still give it a little bit of Nicodranus flair. It
Appreciate it.
Seems to be that mine are just exotic looking enough that it catches the eye of others. So it's not quite the same as my packs, but just different enough. And that will set. Oh, right, pricing. For in trade of the riding horse and probably just a better sinking bow of that sort. It will be about 425 gold.
I will raise my hand and say, I'll pay half of that as thanks for the horse that I've used it so far, Lisana.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about that.
Okay.
Well, just for the sake of it, at least for making round numbers of the even thing, you can put 200 as your share, Dave, and Vixie, you can put 225 down as the other portion that is owed from your side. It will take a couple days, but I'll be sure that it is of good quality. Longbow, yes?
Yes, please.
All right. Part pack style, part little flair of the Menagerie Coast. I'll see what I can do. It's definitely good to see a familiar face, and don't be a stranger. It seems to be that from what I hear, you've got a name already around.
We, as I said, we've run into quite a few interesting things on our journey.
Then it'll be settled there.
Lisana's gonna go and get the horse and bring it where it needs to go.
And once everything is quite done, returned, and that, I think that may be it for the party for what they need to do that day, as they have a meeting the next day. But I think we can call a small little break a tiny bit early. So, okay, so the horse has been traded for, negotiated for the bow thereof, and you have found your spot to stay in until your meeting the next day, when you would be going to the firmaments and the bastion.
Da-dum. Pelaios will literally just return to his room, sit down and spend the evening meditating, though with a small break to go and find some dinner. He will just go and sit in his room and meditate.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be knowing that Belanor would be just resting in his room as well.
Eventually, sort of the next day, whatever you can call it, given sort of these cycles are a little bit strange given the overlooming darkness over Roshana.
I'm going to call it time to heal the hit points I'm missing.
Yes, it is press the long rest button time.
Neat. I'm alive again.
Are you, though? Are you really?
Well, as much as the Shadow Sorcerer is ever alive, we're more or less fueled by death. So yeah, sure, totally.
Eventually, the Aurora Watch would come by, and since they do know where you were staying, they do come and escort you from the Galmer Frey to the Firmaments and towards the Lucid Bastion. Therein, you are led into the Bastion, where it is quite an awe-inspiring sight. A towering citadel and massive cathedral. There are spires of gray quartz piercing the sky. There's a soft interior glow that seems to suffuse the chambers that never darken, shining day and night.
Not that we can tell the difference between day and night.
It's like kind of dark and then a little bit darker. It's sort of like, there's an overcast. So it's like you can tell it's like dim light for the day and then dark for the night. So there's a muted day-night cycle. Albeit with the ever-burning lanterns always kind of on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Eventually, you would be led through until you're in a large court and throne area. Sitting in one of the thrones there looks to be somewhat young, but still in her age. A drow woman, what looks to be trusted advisors, standing in various other booths off to the side.
So, hold on, like actual throne. Did you say one of the thrones? Did you just say?
I think that was just a misspeak.
Okay.
Yeah. Just the throne for.
I was going to say I was suddenly very confused.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a. My brain was talking in two different manners, so like throne, booths, and just clumped it all together.
It's probably fine. There's people. There's staff.
There's a lot of folks.
Chill out.
Yes, and it is you are introduced, and you are shown towards who is announced as Bright Queen Laylas Kryn.
Pelaios will bow, sort of partially. He's sort of going to bow to like a little, about 45 degrees, whatever, but sort of fluidly. I don't know what to say. How you know what I mean? It's like properly, but not like headbutting the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You're not headbutting the floor. He doesn't need to headbutt the floor. He's already had enough beatings in the last day. Your Majesty, it's an honor.
The honor is in part mine, as I have heard from my sources and advisors that you have been very helpful in Johas as well as Roshana.
suppose I like to think we may have been of some assistance where we can.
I am usually not as, I guess you could say, blessed to have such helpful adventurers to my own aid. It does appear, at least from the Aurora Watch, that they have told me that you have been of quite aid and use in managing some of the outsider threats which have been occurring more often in your house.
We were told something of something of this by the captain in Savius. They suggested we may be able to help out.
Well, I will give you what is known about this situation, and I'm sure there are questions of your own that you have about not only what is occurring, but of this place in itself. It is not often that we get... It is, I guess you could say, non-drow, non-goblinoid and all in this city. So there is a lot to be said about our differences. But from what we can tell is that what our mages have been able to tell and think of is that a lot of the issuance thereof is mostly due to the barbed fields. That seems to be part of the source thereof. It is believed that something there, possibly some form of artifact, has been dug up by one of the residents that has made its own home there and has been playing with such a thing in order to bring other sorts into being from beyond into the world we have here, into the material plane.
Pardon, Majesty. What are the barbed fields?
I am sure that you have seen it on your way here. North of here is a barren wasteland of jagged rock, bare dirt, but also areas of strange magic and occurrences. It is where we believe, at least in terms of history, that one of the last battles of the Calamities had occurred, thus leaving the place ravaged from where both sides had clashed. So both good and ill alike may still wane and tarry there, so it seems to be that Eva enjoys to link a little further, send good would wish.
That's okay. I have I learned something. That's okay. He's a little flustered is probably the right word. It's oh my. And yeah, he's going to look around at the others in the vague hope that one of them has something they want to say.
In essence, this is probably a bit difficult for me to ask thereof, since you have already done so much, but I would wish for you to go into the Barbed Valley to wage war against what may be causing these incidents, these rifts to occur from whatever artifact it is messing around with, as some may say.
Does anyone of you others look like they're about to say something?
Not particularly.
No, Lisana's enjoying making him do all the talking.
Fuck you all.
Something, you lied to us, you deserve this.
Something charisma-based character.
I was gonna say, yeah, something, you're the talking.
Yeah, we can tell because of all of those insanely high deception rolls they made earlier.
Went against my insight.
I was about to say something on a sec. I suppose we could investigate. We don't have anything we particularly need to be doing here. We're certainly available.
And she will look among the rest of the party, see if there's any agreeances or dissent.
I don't know, we'll just nod at that.
Perception to see the knife held up at Pelaios' back by one of them.
Well, since that is settled therein, that you would wish to go and do something about that, I will give you your time to prepare as you require. But I am sure that there is questions that you may have to ask of me or some of our acknowledged advisors I have here.
Perhaps there was a conversation earlier with there was something we were not familiar with. If I may ask, what is consecution?
I see. Well, that has a bit of a long story behind it, and I will let one of my religious advisors speak up about that. To which a sort of very lightly robed, priestly-looking drow will step forward, sort of hands folded in front of them, giving a long nod. Consecution. It is a gift therein which occurs to those who do believe in the Luxon. When a mortal bound to the Luxon in spirit dies within where one of the Luxon lie, the Luxon holds onto their soul so that it may be reborn. And as the child does mature, they remember bits and pieces from their past life, and they go through a process wherein they may be integrated together. There are a few of us here, as there is a sweeping motion to many of the drow and goblins within the assembly here, who have gone through this process multiple times. We have gone through multiple lifetimes near the Luxon and have come through and learning of these past lives and keeping the knowledge therein as we learn more through the future.
That sounds like you're effectively immortal.
Not exactly a saying. It is a case where that we are not exactly the previous life, but a new, more complete being each time we continue. I do know of myself as who I was before in multiple times, but I still have the memories of what I was before I gained these past experiences as well. So I am not the previous soul, but I am the memories of many before.
I think that makes makes sense. I'm sorry. You mentioned what is a Luxon?
And there is a wide smile, sort of no teeth, but just smile of understanding as, well, that is a very good question for one who would not normally know from the outside. As I look up things.
This is payback.
Lore dump.
This is payback, making you have to go and look up lore now. I'm not sure why I'm paying it back to you, because you're not the one who was interrogating me and etc. etc. But whatever. I'm making the rest of them listen to it. Where we are.
The Luxon is, in a sense, our own faith. We believe in unity, community, free choice, empower the individual. Each soul has a way to carve a unique path to learn about the world. And that the real power of the universe comes through choice. There are many possibilities awaiting, and, well, the power of dunamis, potentiality. Every bit of energy suffuses the Luxon. It is the infinite potential of the soul and the eventual unity of everything. Well, let us say that we have our own artifacts and pieces, beacons of the Luxon that we would wish to bring together, but there are supposed to be many, very many. The Luxon sleeps for now, and once the beacons are gathered, the Luxon will be summoned from their slumber to ask us, its children, the great question, and impart the truth to that great question.
That's that. I think I understand. At least some of it.
It would take a bit of study and time of our ways to get a full grasp of it, but we are free to let you stay and learn in the firmaments once tasks are done and completed if you wish to learn. You seem to be more of a, I guess you could say, arcane-minded sort. You might be interested in the magic of dunamancy.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating. I would be interested in learning more at some point.
Well, I will definitely see that some of our priests and mages do come speak with you about the Luxon and Dunamancy. You might be able to pick something of your own, and for all we know, you might learn to understand the Luxon and our way of life a bit more.
I would thank you.
Are there any other questions that some of you might have about our society, the Luxon, Dunamancy, what may lie ahead?
Pelaios will just sort of step slightly back to the side, aka I'm done. Have fun. Over to you, type of thing to the others.
Belanor doesn't have any questions.
Neither does Lisana.
Pelaios at this point, by the way, looks slightly eyes narrowed in a sort of absent-minded sort of replaying lore dump, trying to process everything that he's just heard sort of way. He is thinking.
There is a lot of thinking, a lot to process.
A little bit. You know you only get to learn 15 spells, right?
Really, I thought it would have been a few more than that.
No, it's 15. Sorcerer's total spells they can learn is 15.
Huh, that is definitely the case. Well, at least you're able to swap out some.
That's true.
15. My current list is more than 15. And
Yeah.
that's all I have prepared.
Dave's not even a full spellcaster, and he had more spells to choose from at level 2 than I ever get to know.
Right?
Something divine casters.
Yep. Sorcerer's main advantage is they get more cantrips than anyone else. It's the only
And you
less
can
magic.
mess with the magic, yeah. And
Yeah.
magic boy.
Yeah, no, I get fuck all when it comes to spells known.
Limited, but flexible.
Yeah.
But in a mechanical sense now, after you finish whatever is going to be going on here, and all that said, oh, we're being raided. Hi, everybody. You are just missed the lore dump.
Yeah, so they've managed to dodge the spoilers, so there you are. It's fine.
Definitely a pleasure, all of you. So, let's see. Mechanically speaking, after the lore dump and all that, Dark, when you get finished with this current task, you may now have a look into the funky Dunamancy spells as spells that you can pick up or learn into or swap into.
Ooh. You know I only have 15 spells back there, but right? Cool. Sounds fun. Neat. Great, now I have even more
Quite
things
so.
to consider. Oh god.
So many things to consider. I just putting all the stuff on you given the circumstances.
Yep. Anyhow, cool.
Alright, so with the task set forward that you must head into the barbed fields at some point, given that you are allowed to prepare some, you have the rest of the day, and well, let me see. You were given that day, so the whole of the day. Funnily enough, the bow will be probably available. The bow will probably be available the next day around noon.
That seems reasonable. And hopefully we're waiting until Lisana gets that before we take on an adventure like that.
probably a good
Nah,
idea.
we can head straight out. It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
You
All right.
really want to ask that question?
Well-
Every time people ask that question, that's when things go wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Everything.
I got interrogated today already over that question.
That's fair.
I'm not sorry.
Well, you have pretty
I
much
hope not.
an entire 24 hours in Roshona, as if there's anything else you would wish to gather, learn about the city.
Is there anywhere that I can go and buy, like, 2 or 3 bags of candy to take with me?
There are definitely places you can buy some particular drow confections. You might be interested to know that they, well, some of them include chocolate-covered crickets, small scorpions and other creepy crawlies inside hardened candy. And at least as you see of the trees that you do see some here and there are particular sap candies that are available. Not quite like maple, but it's got sort of a strange, rich, sort of like a mint. I'm trying to find the word. I'm trying to think of a really good word. But it's like, it's part maple, like a little bit of pine, and like some odd citrus mint thing. At least from the sap candies that are available here. And of course, because of the magically grown farms, there are other sorts of sugary confections are based around popped grains or seeds thereof. We'll say a gold will give you a good hefty bag of those high quality confections.
That works. I'm going to get 2 so that I can share 1 bag with the party.
Of course, 1 gold for the 2 bags.
What is the general supply situation we have at the moment?
Ooh, supplies might be a good idea to figure.
For once, Pelaios is actually going to consider supplies, as opposed to leaving everyone else to do that. Or at least he's going to give.
Resupplying things should happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make up for lying to the party, or at least semi-regain their trust.
Something like that?
Well, I'm sure that you will be given a general map, so I can tell you pardon me as I try to figure out buttons and things here. Maps and other things. A moment. Given your... Let's see. It's about 3 to 5 days. 3 to 4 days, depending upon which route you do, out to where the general location might be for where you're looking to. So you're looking somewhere for supplies between 6 to 8 days.
Neat. I will collect, arrange, buy whatever supplies for 6 to 8 days. Let's say 10 days because reasons. You will collect supplies for 10 days. Because just in case everything goes to shit, because that would never happen.
Good.
And he will acquire that.
So I'll give you time to figure out bits and bobs to figure.
Cool. How much would the 10 days cost?
10 days of...
Supplies.
Are we talking just rations? Or...
Would be rations for 3 people and a dwarf, 4 people. And 4 horses.
Let's see, 10 days rations and 10 days fee. Give me a moment here.
Can do. Doo-dum.
It is 5 gold and 5 silver for feeding mounts and people for 10 days.
5 gold, 5 silver. Remove. Done. I will have all of this, or take all of this, whatever, back to lodgings. That's the word I was looking for. And what time of day is it now? That we think we know?
Let's see, the time of night is around...
Touche.
Let's see, you were given that more along that day, so I guess that was about morning, so probably it's about what would usually be mid-dusk, we'll call it.
Mid-dusk. Okay. He will sit in his room and stare at the sky out of the window. And he will just sit there until it's an appropriate I need to sleep time. Dum,
Mm-hmm.
dum, 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 dum.
So before Lisana goes to rest for the night, she is going to take out her painting stuff, and she's going to make a painting of the old days for the Knoll friend whenever they were human.
Alright, so probably just a nice little picture of a particular area in Nicodranas?
Of the area and her memory of them being a magician.
Alright. Well, you can give me a painting supplies, or at least, roll with the painting supplies, however that may be.
This is where we
Wow.
get the natural 20 for the day. Why couldn't I have had that earlier?
Because it
Doesn't
wasn't
matter.
nice, Dark. That's exactly why. Because this is selfless.
Screw you, hippie.
Alright, and will you be using any particular special paints from your...
I want to hide some of the glow-in-the-dark stuff in, like, the flowered areas, especially since that was mentioned as part of their memory.
Okay. So some particular sort of the more magical things that were pulled from just adding some of the little glowy painties in there. Alright. Alright, I think that would be relatively easy, especially with a natural 20.
No shout.
Any other particular supplies needed to be grabbed? Frici? Any bits or bobs wish to be addressed?
I don't believe so. I think we got everything.
Can we pick up a few, like, specialty seasonings and food items to take with us? Just to have something a little bit more fun on the road.
I think that might be able to be figured. Let's see, specialty seasonings and all that. Let me look here. Making me work for this. Let's see, so specialty seasonings in order to get a good wide array. I think for just about that, and given that it's probably a bit more rare in there, not going to be as rare as that or inexpensive as that, we'll say 3 gold for that specialty seasonings.
How much did you say, Rocky?
3 gold. Any other little tasks, supplies, thoughts, and things?
Yeah.
Nope.
Doesn't sound like it, so
Nope,
I guess
he's
that
just
would...
sitting in his room.
Yeah, but I guess that would finish up the rest of that day. until the next day thereof that I think everyone would be ready with their supplies and about to go out to pick up the order.
Pelaios is mostly just considering who to kill first. He's not. Well, he might be. You don't know.
Well, after taking a little bit of time moving from the firmament to the coronas and getting back to the pack workshop, you would see Reyna eventually sort of bring out a sort of nice, simple, long box. It wasn't exactly too difficult, but I made sure that it had the quality it was required, and would slide the box open to reveal it's using sort of the paler woods of the area available, sort of carved nice and well, slight little bit of a recurve into it. But you could see some of the more tribal influences that would go in from some sort of knoll bow, but you would see that there were colors and other ornamentations, little accents of coastal colors that would be more popular in on the Menagerie coast, strung very nicely with a well-waxed string, and as you can see, carved with iconography of both the sea and the wastes here as a blend of styles.
Her eyes just light up and she lets out a little squeak.
And you can add yourself a +1 bow to your sheet. $100 gold on some alcohol, not something strong, but just something gaudy. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I know something that would be of that particular, so you can add a what are we gonna call it? Need to find a word momentarily. There you go. A bottle of Vin Rougeant will be exactly what you have purchased, Dave. I'll let the effects be of a particular note later. Any other last little supplies, things, or things to do before you hop off onto the quest proper?
Lisana is going to move the painting out from behind her back and tell Rhea, I have something for you.
Oh, and what just that might be.
She holds it up so she can see.
Well, this is definitely quite the gift, I must say. I'm very pleased that you did give, or at least you are giving this to me. It will definitely be very good in my own home. To remind me of what happened before. Definitely a memory.
She's going to give the Knoll a big hug.
Well, definitely big hug to short Knoll.
I think she's hugged Vac before, so it's not that short by comparison.
I don't think she has, actually.
Has she not? Oh, okay. New lows then.
Any other last supplies you can think of before you're off to the gates and out towards the barbed fields?
No, but I will have a nice breakfast.
I guess our route should be discussed on where you might be going. So time to pull you to a big old laggy blurry map to eventually become a little bit more sharp.
Mm-hmm. Lag maps. Da-da-da-da. I think I've worked out where the barbed fields are on this map. It's that area that says the barbed fields on it.
Quite so.
Oh, you're a natural.
I know, right? I should be a professional navigator. Follow Pelaios, he's extremely trustworthy. He'll lead you in the right direction.
Now, question there is the route. You can either start charging right through into the barbed fields, or you can start taking a longer route along the route.
I mean, our instructions were... I'm trying to remember exactly what was said now. The instructions were to just investigate the source of weird shit happening in the barbed fields, wasn't it? We weren't specifically, unless I'm misremembering, which I probably am because I normally am because it's me, we weren't specifically told any particular part of the barbed fields?
Central-ish.
Okay.
It's about where you're thinking.
Go to the middle, kill everything which moves, go back home, get paid. When we get to the edge or whatever, I will turn and just say, so how do we wish to approach? I'm not particularly sure we want to be trekking all the way straight through the middle.
Yeah, that seems like kind of a bad idea.
I mean, when we're looking out at it, what do we actually see? What does it... You know, we're here now. You sort of described it on our way past the first time, but, like, we're just looking... straight
you know,
out at...
I have something that might be of good use.
Ooh, here's one I prepared earlier.
Imagine this, but from a distance.
Boop.
That makes sense.
It looks like this, only further away. I'll zoom out a bit so it looks further away.
The mountains. I mean, consider backtrack towards the forest
We
and go up from there.
We have been that route already. I'm now getting confused between stuttering and not stuttering of this character. I'm now very confused, and I'm the one who knew I was lying all along. We could go back along the route we've already taken. At least we know that route, or we could see if there's an easier way along the mountains.
Either works. Either route would take us to the same place.
Having any of your magic dreams again?
I'm personally more at ease with the forest.
Naturally. Forest it is then, I guess. Does Lisana or Vak object?
Nope, Lisana's fine with it.
Lisana being fine with going past the forest. We're all so surprised.
It would be 2 days travel going past the forest till you would reach that point and impasse until you would need to get into the Bard Fields proper.
Vak would like to see a cave.
Well, you got outvoted.
It's 2 to 1 to doesn't care. So, I guess we're going past the forest.
2 days with the Firmalock Wildwood off on your left side as you travel up it until there is that point.
Oh yeah, we'd get daylight again, wouldn't we?
You would get daylight, yeah.
We're significantly further away again. When
You're outside of the city range, yeah.
Yeah, when we break
Way
back into
outside.
Yeah, when we break back into real daylight, Pelaios will sort of look up at the sun, not straight at the sun because that would be stupid. But we'll look up in the general direction of all of the brightness and sort of sigh, and then carry on.
And just because we've got at our point of impasse, and I don't want to continue too much without all bodies present, we're gonna call it just a teeny pinch early today, as the barbed fields loom ahead with whatever might lie within this calamitously ruined location, and whatever strange being might be messing with an artifact from way off.
One could make an argument that this area is the most holy place on the entire planet, given that it's literally the final confrontation of the gods. It's like
technically unholy as well, given
holy,
that
unholy. I mean, they are all gods, so yeah.
I mean, demons, devils.
I mean, unholy is just holy with different stylist. So it's basically fine. What could possibly go horribly wrong here?
Well, one can only know, but this depends upon what may happen thereof and therein.
Well then.
So send us off.
That seems like a lot of work. we like not will just banish off the screen.